my previous video, I have been telling you about how good Norway is, why you should come to Norway to study. When I say all these good things about Norway, I think I should make you aware of the drawbacks of studying in Norway as well. In today's video, I'm going to tell you about 10 things that I hate about living in Norway. If you are on this channel for the first time, I have been making videos about studying abroad to help you decide your study destination. If you are planning to study abroad and looking for genuine information, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to get the information when I upload new video for you. Now let's get into the video. As you have probably heard this many times, yes, it is really expensive to live in Norway. For international students like us who are from non-EU countries, the prices here come as a big shock for us. Let me give you some examples. For boys, the cheapest haircut I have found so far is 200 NOK, which is around $25. Normally, Norwegians spend around 600 NOK for a haircut. To rent a 35-meter square apartment, you will be paying around 12,000 NOK per month. If you are a party lover, you will struggle with your finance. Alcohol and narcotics are heavily taxed in Norway. For the cheapest 500 ml beer, you will be spending around 30 NOK in the store and 95 NOK in bar or pubs. Similarly, for a pack of cigarettes, it costs around 150 NOK. But if you are planning to quit alcohol and cigarettes, which I really recommend you to do, don't worry, Norway will help you. Restaurants are also super expensive in Norway. For example, for the good medium pizza, you will be paying somewhere around 250 NOK. So if you are planning to move to Norway and you have an overspending habit, you really need to change yourself. One of the main reasons for everything being so expensive in Norway is the tax rate. Tax rates are also really high in Norway. If you are a student working 20 hours a week, you will be paying around 20% tax. But when you start to work full-time, you will be paying around 35% tax, and it can go even higher depending on your income. When things are expensive and tax rate is really high, it is really hard for people like us to save money or to send it to our family. However, there are various benefits of paying tax in Norway, which I'll discuss in some other videos next time. Another thing that most of the international students complain about is how hard it is to get a Norwegian friend in Norway. Especially for people like us, we came from a culture where we treat our friends as a part of our family. We will go through culture shock. Yes, you heard it right, a culture shock. In generally, Norwegians are very nice, but they are introverts. So even if you make Norwegian friend, you will find some boundaries on how close you can be with them. However, if you are walking on a street and need help to find a way and ask people, they will help you genuinely. It's just hard to have a close Norwegian friends. When you search online about Norway, you probably see two things about weather: cold and dark. Yes, it is really cold here in Norway during winters, but this is not the worst part. I do not think I will talk much about snow and cold in Norway because the worst part is the darkness. Norway is home to extreme light variations. In some part of northern Norway, the sun will not rise at all for around 3 months from November to January. And it's not gonna set for all 3 months in summer, from May to July. Although it sounds interesting, but it is not when you have to be a part of it. You will suffer from wintertime depression when your body does not get enough sunlight. This can really mess you up badly, especially during your first winter in Norway. Be prepared and start taking vitamin D capsule when winter starts in Norway. During summer, when there is light for 24 hours, it is not as bad as winter, but it's not interesting as it sounds. This might sound unbelievable, but administrative delays will become a part of your life in Norway. Especially when it comes to renewal of your study permit, it can take eternity to hear the decisions from UDI. The immigration process is really slow in Norway. I know a few friends who were waiting for their study permit renewal decisions for almost 2 years. And this is something you cannot do anything about. You just have to accept it and wait. Even if you just go to udi.no and check the waiting time for permanent residency is 18 months after you send the application to UDI. You will have to renew your permit every year, and these delays will just pause your life for some time. For example, if you have to renew your visa every year, and it can take up to 9 to 10 months to hear from UDI. It does not happen frequently, but sometimes you might have to face it. You cannot believe that you will be spending at least 50,000 NOK to get a driving license in Norway. Additionally, road tolls and fines are super high in Norway. So if you are a car person, you need to prepare yourself for these things. However, I also want to mention that public transportation in Norway is really good. Most Norwegians prefer to use public transport whenever it is possible. I have mentioned this in my previous video as well, that language barrier is one of the challenging hurdles you will face in Norway. Although 95% of Norwegians understand and speak English, you will need to learn Norwegian if you want to get integrated well into Norwegian society. When you are looking for a job after your degree, the most common reason for rejection will be the language. You may think that you will learn language while studying at university, but it is not that easy as it sounds to learn Norwegian while studying. You have to attend your daily lectures, have to be part of your part-time job, have to do the assignments, and language on top of that does not come that easy. However, the good thing about Norway is that most Norwegians do not hesitate to speak in English. It is not like France or Germany where people do not understand English, or even if they understand, they do not prefer to speak. I have been learning the language as well, and it is somewhat similar to English, but pronunciations are really difficult to master. Once you become fluent in Norwegian, most doors will open for you. But until you learn the language, you will face various challenges. From my personal experience so far in Norway, post-study job opportunities are very limited in other fields than IT. I do not mean to say that it is impossible to get a job in non-IT field, but it is really challenging, especially if you do not have the language. For subjects like business administrations, there are many opportunities, but most of them requires you to speak Norwegian, and for subjects like physics, chemistry, there are not many opportunities in Norway, as not many big research activities are being carried out in Norway. Another challenge is once you are done with your studies, you need to get a job relevant to your degree if you want to get a work permit. Any other job will not be eligible to apply for work permit. So if you do not manage to get a work permit, you do not have many options left to extend your stay in Norway. Few years ago, it was not a major issue for an international student to find room in student housing. For the past few years, there has been more demand for student housing than supply in Norway. I have seen some of my friends not getting housing offer until they arrive in Norway. This will be very challenging for international students if they do not have anyone in Norway to live with. There is another level of challenge when you have to find a private apartment after you are done with your studies. You literally have to write an application like you are writing a job application. And even with that, it is really hard to get an apartment. And even if you get an apartment, I have mentioned earlier as well, it is really expensive. This sounds strange, but opening a bank account in Norway is really challenging, especially for international students. First of all, we need to get our Norwegian number, which usually takes between 2 weeks to 1 month, and then you need to apply for bank account. Most of the Norwegian banks take 2 to 3 months, and this will become a real problem if you have to send back your deposit money to your home country. On the other hand, without a bank account, it will be hard for you to access health system, tax office, and all other administrative sites. However, there is one thing I would like to clarify here. During your initial days in Norway, when you do not have your bank account, your university will give you some ways to withdraw your money. So you do not have to worry about being left with no money in Norway. I hope today's video was helpful. If there is any topic that you would like to get more information on, please comment it down below so that I will consider it for my future videos. I will see you in my next video. Until then, take care. Bye bye.